cardio for weight loss. There is a way to do it right, but unfortunately, most people do it wrong. If you do cardio for fat loss and you do it wrong, you're going to slow down your metabolism. You won't burn fat effectively, and you'll hit plateaus that are impossible to get past. And here's what happens. If you do it right, you will get more fit, you will lose the weight that you want to lose, and that weight loss will not come from muscle, it's gonna come from fat. Welcome to Boom 50 Fitness. My name's Regan, and this is your channel for all things health and fitness in your 50s and beyond. All right, it's time to dive right in. If you're wondering if you're doing cardio the wrong way or you've hit some sort of plateau when it comes to your weight loss or your fat loss, you've come to the right place. Let's talk about how to do cardio the right way in your 40s, 50s, and beyond. I had to do this episode because so many people think I am anti-cardio now. I am not. I love walking for cardio, but I did used to be a huge runner and I owned a spin studio and I was a cardio queen for years and years. And now looking back, if I was to do that now, I would really be doing my body a disservice. So just like the food industry kind of screwed us in the 80s and the 90s, the fitness industry did a little bit too, because we were taught that cardio was the best way to burn calories, and it is not. So if cardio is your primary method to lose weight, you are going about it all wrong, because you want to burn body fat, right? That's the weight you want to lose. You don't want to be losing muscle. Let's break this down into simple terms. Exercise is a stressor on your body. And what happens is your body starts to adapt to the stressor that you're throwing at it. And that's exactly why when you lift weights, you get stronger. When you do cardio, you build stamina. And basically that's just your body adapting so that it's not as much of a stress the next time you do it. Every part of your body will adapt to stressors in some way. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't understand how to work with the stressors, and they wind up working against the stressors. We learned a long time ago, if we burn more calories than we take in, that results in weight loss. Simple terms, right? And that's caused by an energy imbalance. So you're just burning more calories than you're actually taking in. And all of that is really true. Yes, it is, but it's way more complex than that. It's not just calories in, calories out. So jumping back to the 80s and the 90s, we saw what exercises burned the most calories, and that is what people gravitated towards. Yep, you know it, the cardio. That's what so many of us gravitated towards, because that's where you were gonna get the biggest calorie burn. So we thought that was the biggest bang for your buck. We started running, we started taking step classes, cardio, cardio, cardio. And it so makes sense that we thought that, because an hour on the treadmill is gonna burn way more calories than any other type of exercise, like strength training or Pilates or yoga. And it's so true. An hour on the treadmill will burn more calories than like 2.5, maybe even 3 hours of strength training. But that completely ignores all the adaptations that you're inducing. So if you're just trying to burn more calories, what happens is your body starts to view that as a threat. And how does your body do this? Well, it just says, uh-oh, you are burning through a lot of energy. I need to get better at this activity that I keep doing over and over and over again. And here's why this is just not the most effective way to go about fat loss or weight loss. The body gets better at what it does. And what will happen is you start to burn less and less calories doing that form of cardio. And this is just proven. I mean, if you take a long distance runner and a long distance cyclist and their bodies have adapted to what they do and you swap them out, they're gonna start burning more calories doing the form of cardio that their body is not conditioned to. But what many times happens is we find that form of cardio. For me, it was the running and the spin classes, and we kind of just stuck to that. So another adaptation that the body goes through is it figures out where it can shave off energy consumption. And what it turns to is muscle. So muscle needs a lot of calories to stay on your body. It's super active and it's really, really important to keep that muscle and actually build more muscle, especially if fat loss is what you're going for. And the body is so smart. Do you need really strong muscles to do steady state cardio? No, you don't. So the muscle is one of the first things to go when you start doing too much cardio and cutting calories. So here's one thing that all the data supports is if you're using cardio as your main form of weight loss, 30 to 40% of that weight loss is going to come from muscle, maybe even more. Yikes, that is not what we want. We want to build that muscle. That muscle is expensive and we worked really hard to earn that muscle. We want to keep it. And what happens when you burn through muscle? Well, you slow down your metabolism. And so maybe you're focused on the number on the scale and you've been doing the cardio, you cut your calories and you lost some weight, but eventually you will plateau. And if you want to lose more weight, what do you have to do? You got to do more cardio, and then you have to restrict calories even more. And then you're gonna go into that muscle even more than you already have. And then again, you'll slow down your metabolism even more. So it really is a vicious cycle of lots of cardio, restricting calories. Then you plateau. Then more cardio, restrict calories, and eat away at your muscle. And that is 100% the worst place to be in if your goal is fat loss. And hopefully you clicked on this video because you want to hear the right way to use cardio. I am here to help. I know this is a huge mind shift, and if weight loss is your goal, kick that to the curb and let's go for fat loss, where we maintain the muscle, we actually get stronger, and we speed up your metabolism. One thing you can stop doing right now, because it's not accurate, is stop focusing on the calorie burn during your workout. Don't look at what the treadmill monitor says or even your watch. Stop focusing on that because it's quite honestly just a waste of time. And I know, again, mind shift. People think this is the most important part of the process, when actually it absolutely is not the most important part. The calories in, calories out. You've got to stop just worrying about that. And I know it's the easiest thing to understand, so many people just glob onto that theory, and it's not working for you. Or maybe you think it's working for you because the number on the scale is going down. But here's what I can tell you: get your body fat measured before you focus on that number on the scale. And listen, I am so guilty of this. When I was right out of college, and by the way, my degree's in exercise physiology, and I'm going back to school now for health sciences and nutrition, but I digress. When I right out of college, this is how I was training people who wanted to lose weight. This is what we did. This is what all of my coworkers did. This is what we were taught back then in the late 80s, early 90s. Calories in, calories out, that's how you lose weight. And cardio, that is your form of exercise. And it really just boils down to your body going into survival mode. When you're not feeding it enough fuel and burning through too many calories, the body just says, hey, let's go to this expensive tissue, which is the muscle, and start burning through that. I know losing the weight is fun, but wouldn't that suck if you went and found out, great, I lost 10 pounds, but half of it came from muscle, and now I have a slower metabolism. As a trainer, this is one of the hardest parts of my job. I get it too. Cardio makes you feel good. You get those endorphins, and a lot of people associate a workout with a lot of sweating as a better workout for your body.
And that's just not the case.
And I also see that seeing that scale move, watching your weight go down can be super motivating because you think, it's working. I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing. It's such a hard concept for so many people to grasp. But this mind shift, as a trainer, it makes us crazy because we know you're doing your body a disservice, and we want to help you speed up your metabolism. But you know what? It's going to take patience, and we've got to get you back to a healthier place. So yeah, you lost the weight in the process, you lost some muscle, so now we've got to rebuild that muscle back. And how are we going to do it? Well, to lose body fat and preserve the muscle that you already have, or the muscle that you gain back after you stop doing the crazy yo-yo cycle that we talked about, is heavy duty strength training. And before we really dive into like how you're gonna build that muscle to burn the fat, let's just talk about if you were to say lose 5 pounds of body fat. Didn't come from muscle, you just lost the 5 pounds of body fat, but you gained 5 pounds of muscle. Are we gonna see the scale change? No, we're not, but you are gonna be much leaner and your clothes are going to fit completely differently than if you were to have just lost the weight and, eaten into that muscle. I know a lot of people on a weight loss journey, it's for aesthetic reasons, right? You want to look better, you want your clothes to fit better, but stop using cardio to make your body look better, because there are other ways we're gonna do it, and that's with the strength training. So you guys, I don't want you to think I am just dumping on cardio, because I'm not. It is one of the best ways to build stamina. But in midlife, you just have to be really choosy about the forms of cardio that you pick. So a lot of running, a lot of biking, not the best thing you can do. Personally, I think you all know this, my favorite form of cardio is walking. I walk every single day, minimum 10,000 steps. It feels so good. I do a lot of hill walking, so that obviously will bring up my heart rate a little bit more. And then 4 times a week, I do heavy duty strength training. So I am never putting my body at risk of eating into the muscle. And I said earlier, I was a cardio queen, and the reason I was a cardio queen, it wasn't really to burn the calories, it was because I loved it. I loved running, I loved teaching spin classes, I loved the whole process, the warm up, the meat of the workout, the cool down. I loved it all, and I loved the endorphin rush that I got, and I always felt so great afterwards, and I felt really, really proud of what I had accomplished. And for you, maybe running is something you absolutely love to do, and I'm not telling you to give up running, but say you go for a 3-mile run 3 days a week, and then you throw in some classes here and there. Why don't you take away 1 or 2 of those runs? You'll really look forward to the day that you are going to run, and swap out those runs with some heavy duty strength training. This is what's going to burn the fat, and all the running in midlife is going to burn the muscle. No, that is not what we want to do. Okay, did you hear what I said earlier? Don't approach cardio for aesthetic reasons. Not in this time of your life, because it will work against you. So approach it in a way to build stamina and keep your cardiovascular endurance going strong. And one thing I want to mention is if you increase the cardio and drop the calories, what you're going to eventually find is that your stamina actually goes down. Back to that vicious cycle, more cardio, calorie restriction, and a lower stamina. Just add that to that vicious cycle, and slower metabolism. How many times do I have to say it? And the stamina actually goes hand in hand with the strength training, because if you don't have the stamina, you're actually going to get gassed out during your strength training sessions, and you won't be able to work as hard. So my all-time favorite combination is heavy duty strength training and walking every single day. So the stamina that I get from all the walking I do carries over into my strength training workouts, because if I'm going to get gassed out after 5 squats, then what's the point? We want to build the stamina with the walking, and that way you're going to be even stronger during your strength training sessions. And I guess we all know at this point, everything I'm talking about with the strength training, it's to build muscle, but it really is to support your metabolism as well. I love this about strength training. It directly tells your body to build and preserve muscle. And muscle is a really important part to the calorie burn just at rest. It just makes fat loss that much easier if you have a significant amount of muscle mass. So what I'm trying to say is you absolutely have to have strength training as part of your exercise program. Okay, real quick before we wrap it up, let's talk about diet, because we can't talk about stamina and cardio and strength training without talking about a healthy diet to support what you're doing. So if cardio is going to stay one of the cornerstones of your workout, which it should, just be choosy about what you do and make sure you're getting in a significant amount of heavy duty strength training. But we have to talk about nutrition, and specifically making sure that you get enough protein, because we don't want you to be losing the muscle. We want you to build the muscle, at least at a bare minimum. Maintain what you've got. High protein is muscle preserving, period. So you want to be consuming a high protein diet. So you need to be on a high protein diet. And what would that be? That would be trying to eat 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So if you're 120 pounds, you try to eat 120 grams of protein every single day. Now, if you're on a fat loss / weight loss journey, eat the amount of protein of what your goal weight is going to be. Okay, and besides eating a lot of protein, make sure you're not doing a crazy restrictive diet where you really are focusing on burning more calories than you're actually taking in. If your calorie restriction is too low, it will send a signal to your body like, okay, hey, what's going on here? Let me keep holding on to fat and burning through muscle instead of burning through the fat. So it definitely gets really tricky here, because we don't need to talk about that vicious cycle again, but the calorie restriction with the cardio is no bueno. And yes, you do want a slight calorie deficit if you're trying to lose weight. But again, remember, we're trying to preserve the muscle, so we have to eat a lot of protein, and we want to increase the fat loss. So going in too strict of a calorie deficit is not a great idea. So there is a little bit of a balancing act that has to come along with this. But I'll always say the 1200 calorie diet, because people toss that number around all the time for weight loss. And it really depends on the person, but 1200 calories is not enough for a grown woman. I can't tell you how many more calories I get in a day than that. But I know my metabolism is in a really great place now. And there is a way for you to reverse it, because if you have been doing the calorie restriction and you've plateaued or you're hitting some issues, there are ways to do it. So when it comes to the whole diet part of it, really focus on the protein, like I said, and if you do focus on eating your body weight in grams of protein, it's not gonna leave a whole lot of room for anything else, but you can check the calories, and I'm guessing if you're in a really strict caloric deficit, you're gonna see the calories are gonna be increased a little bit with that amount of protein, but don't even worry about that, because what we want to do at this point, because you've already probably messed up your metabolism a little bit, let's get it back on track. And patience is going to be key here, but getting in that protein so your body starts to realize it doesn't have to store fat anymore. It actually can use the fat as fuel, because you want to turn into a fat burning machine. And I'll link up here how I eat my body weight in protein. I think it's actually how to eat 100+ grams of protein in a day, and hopefully that can help you. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to leave me a comment down below. Give this video a thumbs up. Ring that bell notification so that you are notified as soon as my next video comes out. And what else? My name's Regan. This is Boom50 Fitness, your new BFF. I will see you next Thursday.